Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTuber. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Rita Lee's video blog of Mary Sky. So I have a couple updates for you. First update is, if you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're coming backer, welcome. So I got done talking to my sister, and we implemented some notes this time around to make sure the video doesn't go too long, so I can get to other issues at hand, like I got to write a letter to my father. Extend the olive branch and have it mailed out on Monday or Tuesday. So, first thing is first. So, let me tell you about the stuff here. Now, a lot of people say, over 42 million people are without food stamps. Good for you. Yeah, my coffee cup's refilled. So, here goes. First up, stores. $9 billion a month. Basically, I got some comments and then other things. My sister used to work in Walmart, so here's how it works. Walmart, Kroger, Fred Meyer's, Safeway, Albertsons, Fry's, Kohl's, Giant Eagle, that other company that for the rich, can't remember the name of it now. My father-in-law used to shop there from time to time. Anyways, it was a rich thing back east. I was in Ohio a couple times. Anyways, to make this video short, basically the stores are going to take a $9 billion a month hit as long as the government shut down. Now you're saying, oh, well, they'll restore it Monday. Actually, my sister Teddy, who follows politics just like me, and we have connections at places, we both think the government ain't going to reopen until January. Yeah, that's right, because if they open now, they got to push everything through, and then they go on their Thanksgiving and Christmas recess, which means this is going to be the biggest and longest thing. Now, you're going to see air traffic controllers quit. They're just going to flat out quit because they can't pay the bills. So, another bad hit's going to be airlines are going to go down, which means Amazon can't control their planes, which means your Amazon shipments, which the government doesn't care for, is going to be delayed. You could say, oh, well, that's great, we're cool. Pay attention here. I wrote notes down for you. Secondly, one of my YouTubers who I love dearly, who's awesome, shout out to him, Josh, I believe it is. Josh, shout out to you, brother. He's a trucker. Truckers are going to get hit of that $9 billion too, you see. Without subsidizing groceries for the food stamps, the truckers lose twofold. One is they lose twofold on the food stamp money by taking the supplies to the grocery stores so you can buy the products or said products from the food stamp thingy. Truckers. You're saying, well, Rita, what about the second twofold? The second twofold is a big one. Truckers can't deliver from the farm, so the farmers get a subsidy too. So the food stamps, we're going to subsidize the farmers. The farmers subsidize the truckers subsidize the grocery stores. The grocery stores get subsidized by you, the consumer that buys the food. Are you following me? You'd be like, oh, well, we could just fly it on airplanes. That's if the air traffic controllers are staying. If they don't stay and the government keeps doing this, you're going to see the biggest housing bubble in American history pop because no one's going to be able to afford their housing. And that's right. Their housing. It's gone. Secondly, this is where it gets technical. You see, the farm subsidies get helped by the food stamps, right? If you have food stamps, well, this is why my stepdad, bless his heart, turned around and said, you don't need to buy but one TV at a time. When your TV goes, you buy a new one. You don't buy anything that you don't need. If you have like 20 computers, yeah, all right. Now, you're probably thinking, this one here I'm saving for last on Note 1. Note 2, like I said, also, when the food bank, right, hold on, let's put it this way. When the farmers ship off their processing, right, cows, sheep, wheat, and they go in. This also subsidizes the farmers. It also subsidizes the food processors. My sister Teddy was clearly specific. Anything that's being processed, beef, pork, chicken, lamb, veal, you name it, baby cow, wheat, anything that's processed in factories like ramen, they get a chunk of the money too. So all this money is sitting right there, and it's breaking. The dam is broke, and unless they rebuild the dam, yeah. Now, this one here is a big one. Okay, this one is the next one. Privatizing the U.S. government is National Socialism. So if you look at just that alone, I got this from my sister. National Socialism. So the Socialistic Republic of America, which isn't communist, literally has gone down the toilet. That's right. So basically, you're not getting socialized medicine, which a lot of people are panicking because they're like, well, we're fighting for Medicaid, right? But a few years ago, they put rules in place, and then they put in more rules this time around, thinking everyone in the world is basically turning around and living off of, and so the socialized medicine part is, well, you get the... Sorry about that, people. There was a technical error on my router. Apparently, the router dropped for some reason. Anyways, I'm glad you guys are back. Hopefully, I can get the thing. Sorry about the disconnection. Anyways. I apologize for the black screen. So anyways, the point I'm making is to get through this is so the government turns around and, basically, it's socialism. And so a lot of people say, well, what is socialism versus communism? Communism is where the state owns everything and you're just happy to receive whatever the state gives you, okay? But that won't happen because blue states will fight them tooth and nail. But a lot of people say, well, we're already under blue state socialism. Yeah, you see, the red states, there's a little problem with red states versus blue states. And I'm going to tell you why the red states are happy, okay? There's two reasons, okay? Now, there's three things that could happen between now and the government reopen. Right now, the government shut down, right? Which means blue states are coming together. Democratic states are, what are you redneck goons called? Libtards. Those libtards, we own libtards. We're happy to own libtards, yeah. Just being funny here. The libtards, as you call them, can turn around and say, well, the government shut down. We don't have to pay our taxes to the federal government. Which we don't. Plain and simple, that's the rule of law. Without the government opened, we don't have to pay our taxes to the government. Even the Treasury Department can be shut down 99% of them. But usually they don't give any ideas. Now, National Socialism. So everything is socialized. Your medicine socialized. Your healthcare is socialized. Your food socialized. Your healthcare is socialized. Your housing is socialized. Now you can sit there and say, well, remember what we talked about in the videos? The last video was 2.5 hours. The government turns around and they socialize your housing. And your housing is subsidized, right? So what happens if the 12 appropriation bills don't get paid until January? That means we're in a big crisis, which means Americans could lose their housing. Millions of people could lose HUD and the USDA. And the USDA's programs for agriculture has deals for farmers, housing, and food stamps. Think about it. One big beautiful thing. On the other side of the aisle, you have the HHS appropriation bill for Medicare, Medicaid, and so forth. And then on another bill, you have apparently HUD and other groups. So all in all, the appropriation bills are what it is. Now, you're thinking, okay, cool. Continue. Well, nationalizing or letting the government do this, they're basically trying to state, quote, unquote, as a lot of people say, the government's broke down. But what happens? What happens when the government breaks down? You see, the government shut down. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, but the government will be reopened. Okay, well, I may go ahead, just to be funny here. Let's see, is my volume off? Yes, it is. I'm going to go and make a poll for you guys about, do you think the government will be open by Christmas? Yes or no? No. That's the poll I'm going to make. Or, let's just say, yeah, by Christmas. So, here we go. And then we'll continue. By Thanksgiving, yes, let's just say 1 Yes. I always put yes. I like to put yes on top. 2, no. And there we go. There's your poll. Do you think the government will be open by Thanksgiving? Yes or no? I think the answer is no. I don't think they're going to be even open at Christmas time. Why do you say that? Because Christmas time is not good. So, and then you got all these people like moderator Chris, love him dearly, who's talking about, oh, we'll just finance through personal credit. That's fine and dandy, okay, but think about it, people. Think about it. Now, this one is interesting, okay? The last comment is a big one, and that is the privilege to vote. Now, a lot of you people sitting there, oh, yeah, we own libs, we own libtards, we crushed them, we got a mandate to get rid of all these programs. Yeah, until the rednecks turned around and found out the food stamps have been cut. There's a lot of MAGA out there that's really pissed off that the food stamps have been cut. They don't get one stinking crumb, and they're pissed. They're like, oh, what are we doing? I know hardworking Hispanic people that work hard for their money. Yeah. They work hard for their money. And, yeah. And because of it, they live just like the rest of us. But we're not here to talk about that, are we? We're here to talk about the rest. You see, the American people turned around and they buy too much. And this is another thing that was talked to my sister tonight. The people sat there during the pandemic, the stimmy checks. My sister used to work at Walmart. They would be buying TVs, DVD players, phones. That's that you couldn't eat phones. My sister said, what'd you use with your stimmies? Toilet paper. It's only about one computer with her last stimmy check, but everything else was toilet paper, paper towels, canned beans. We were like holed up here. Price of just a order from Target, Walmart, Amazon was a hassle just to go through 3 different stores just to have delivery because other stores weren't going to do delivery during the pandemic for toilet paper. So we had to go through different channels for toilet paper and paper towels. And now they're starting to limit people on food because, well, Amazon's Happy Belly is going down. But the thing is, the privilege to vote's the last one. Why is it privilege? Because people sat there and said, oh, well, we're happy the libs didn't vote. Well, you either had to choose Donald Trump, which you didn't think was going to win. You thought the liberals were going to carry the weight to get Kamala Harris to victory, which didn't happen. And then you have these redneck goons turning around and poking the beehive now. And now these redneck goons, that's what I call them, they're angry because, and they have the right to be angry, because nothing went according to plan. In almost 11 months, the entire country went down, or 10 months, I should say. The 10 months the president's been in office, the entire country went down the toilet. And a lot of people say this may just energize people for Tuesday. Well, I hope so, because Tuesday's the day that voters get their voices heard yet again. I'll be managing Tuesday all day, off and on, while gaming, because people need to know what's going to happen for the future. Yeah. And I, for one, think it'll be interesting. So, there you have that. Then you have the other problem, which is which is what's going to happen for the future. And a lot of people are worried about that. So basically, you got people turning around. My sister and I were arguing tonight about, she was arguing about Venezuela, for example. Well, why are we going to Venezuela? It's a distraction. She said, just give the American people the Epstein file and be done with it. I said, well, that's your opinion. Maybe they have a reason for not doing it. But she also knows that they need an off-ramp, too, which means if they don't have an off-ramp, the American people can't turn around and do an off-ramp. And that off-ramp is, how come? And a lot of people are worried about that. And a lot of people have a reason to worry about that, because without an off-ramp, they can't just turn around and say we're good or we're bad or we're cranky. They're literally stating, that, so, your food stamps, they're going away, man. And do you think you're going to see him anytime soon? No, I don't think so. Because unless the government basically reopens right away and gets those 12 appropriation bills, I think we're in it for the long haul. Oh, we got our first comment of the day called Tarot Destroyer. 7 years ago, my parents were eaten by pygmy cannibals, and I have never forgotten it. Okay, that's cool. Welcome to the channel. See, I'm not just going to leave that one go, but anyways, the bottom line is I think what you're going to see, as my sister said, that the government is going to get to the point where people are going to start to lose, not just their homes, because, like the government's furloughed. How are they going to cover their homes? They can't. They may just find out the government is shut down, right? And if the government stays shut down, they can go and axe programs they don't like. Oh, housing? Let the states handle it. Oh, food? Let the states handle it. Oh, SSI? Let the states handle it. Oh, UBI? Let the states handle it. Oh, you want sex change? Let the states handle it. So you have to throw that in there. See? Everything that they're going to do, they're going to say, leave it to the states, right? Well, why not just divide the country up into two? Red states, the red states of America, and the blue states of America. Blue states, well, but then again, the government shut down. So what happens if the government shut down? I'll tell you what. A lot of people say, oh, they're going to invade Oregon and Chicago and California and blue states because, of rioting and no food stamps in this. It's not about that, people. You see, I'll tell you why. He's literally trying to place the troops where he is. And it isn't about, my sister and I talked about that too. It's not about, riots and revolts. You see, you guys think it's so he can declare insurrection or martial law. That's what you blue left-wing crapheads think. I call you left-wing crapheads. Pee-wee's probably laughing about it. Truth is, it isn't about that. It's about, wait for it, if the government shut down, the blue states don't have to pay into the taxes to the red states. So blue states don't pay red states. Red states don't get funding. Blue states don't have to pay. Donald Trump turns around and says, oh, yeah, food stamp was gone, Medicaid's gone. Meanwhile, he doesn't realize blue states don't have to pay. Government's closed. We don't have to worry, you see. I mean, there's a few people out there that may worry about their $24 in food stamps. But if you prepped properly, that is where you go for help and happiness. But how many people has prepped? Yeah, think about it. I mean, it should be a privilege that everyone in this country that's 18 or over should vote however they vote for whoever they want to vote for. Instead of sitting on their butt on the couch saying, well, Donald Trump's evil and bad and I can't vote for him, and then going with Kamala Harris and saying, oh, I can't vote for a black woman because... Then vote for a communist, vote for a socialist, vote for the Green Party, vote for the Moose Party, vote for the Tranny Party, vote for any party that thinks of it. But if you're just going to sit on the couch, I mean, let me put it to you this way. There's 7 million... 7 million Jehovah's Witnesses that believe in the Kingdom Hall or the New World Translations. So there's a compact version, as you guys see. 7 million. What does their policy say? Don't vote. 7 million, or is it 14 million? Anyways, every year. Well, I have friends that are Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, let me tell you a story. I didn't even get to tell my sister this. Well, yeah, I did. She laughed about it. So, it goes like this. My neighbor upstairs. She's now getting regrets for buying Christmas presents for her kids and a TV for herself. Well, you know what? If you can eat the TV, that's fine and dandy. If you can't eat the TV, it's fine and dandy. The neighbor next door to her, Jehovah's Witness. Church, there's no money to support Fat Alice. There you go, not Albert. Fat Alice. I'm going to just say code name her Fat Alice. Food bank, shut down. Meals on Wheels, they're not getting food stamps unless her food stamps have been saved. Meals on Wheels may be cut completely. They cut out Meals on Wheels. They're not being delivered. The Meals on Wheels program from the state. I could check into it tomorrow. But guess what? That'd be a good video to talk about. Meals on Wheels shut down. A lot of programs shut down. People are complaining. Their tax dollars is going to garbage. Think about it. Their tax dollars they think is wasted on Fat Alice being like, "I can't walk and I need food." A lot of people could lose a few pounds, a few meals here and a few meals there, but some people, without food, they shut down, apparently. It's like a low sugar thing. Think about it. I saw videos where these women are like, Fat Alice shouldn't have food stamps, or we shouldn't be supporting the fat people. And the same blonde MAGA woman's literally being told, we shouldn't support you because you're on food stamps. Thing is some people get food stamps, some don't. The point is right now, this is not a picture of who gets food stamps and who doesn't. This is a bigger picture of an economic collapse right in front of our eyes. And you guys sit there, Harry's guy, that fake man in a dress. Let's just, that fake man in a dress who's yada yada yada, right, is fake and wants to live on doom and gloom. Really? How's this for doom and gloom? How many people out there in America is going to these large prepping channels and they're like, "Oh, if you prepped, you'll get a free generator if you sign up today." And then you don't win the generator. Think about it. I'm here to give true facts and numbers. My sister and I was arguing, saying that Iran's the biggest country for oil. Then she found out it was Venezuela by the world. By AI. 3 different AIs said it to her. Venezuela. Think about it. Why are we going to invade Venezuela? Maybe my adopted brother would like to tell me why. Or is it because we can't basically produce enough oil in this country? Or did we run out of our reserves? Or is there another reason why, big brother, that you're not telling me? Because I'd like to know. Of course, he's like, knows I'm doing a YouTube vid, and he's like, "I'll get my socks on." No one cares. Yeah, so, next up. You're going to love this one. Okay. With the government collapsing within itself, not just because of food stamps not being supplied and stores going out of business and truckers can't deliver. You can sit there, "Oh, the trains will do it." Okay, let's just say we have all the food stamps, money, and packages going by train. Are you going to load up a semi-truck from the train station and load it to the nearest warehouse hub that's going to basically hire another trucker to take it from the warehouse hub to the Walmart? You see, without food stamps being restored, the government socialistic programs are gone. You got to remember, a lot of these Republicans think that the government is socialistic or communist. By the way, if you haven't read The Naked Communist by Clausen, I highly recommend it. That explains a lot, okay? What they're trying to do is take away everyone's rights slowly. Yeah. And the reason they want to take away the rights of people is people like me. Let me just say, if you had hungry Republicans where I live, knew I had a whole stack of food, they'd come and kill me just because they don't want to work for it. They'll just kill me. My sister said that. These people would kill her, but thank God she's armed. And, that's her bragging rights. But think about it. They would come after anyone who had food. Preppers aren't safe. The preppers are not safe. Preppers. Yeah. The preppers are not safe. Plain and simple. They are not safe. The Americans are not safe. Yeah. And because of it, think of what's happening. I mean, let me put it this way, from a point of view for myself. Is there any more coffee? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. The preppers aren't safe. Preppers come on, they basically state their opinions. I watched the video tonight, and the guy was explaining a great video. I highly recommend him. Great YouTuber. He's got almost 900,000 views, 900,000 subscribers. His name is Dark Matter 2525. Great guy. You should watch his channel. He's got a target on his back because he's talking, Thing is I'm talking about something important, the food stamps. A lot of you people say, "Oh, it'll be reinstated." Do you think so? Think about it. If they aren't going to release the Epstein files, they're not going to release food stamps. And even if they did, someone's going to basically be cut. And it ain't going to be... like I said in my last video, It might be Chloe, it might be me, it might be Pee-wee, it might be Zoe, it might be Higgins, it might be Ted, it might be everyone around me, Mark, my moderators. It all might be them who literally loses their food stamps. It's time for you guys to grow up and realize that the reason that it's been cut right now is because it's not appropriated, and two is there is no contingency. There is no contingency. You hear me? No contingency. None. Basically, when they ran out of money for the month, that was it. They warned us. But you know what? Everyone said, oh, the government ain't going to last that long. I told my father-in-law 3 weeks ago, we're not going to see anything till after Christmas. My sister, Teddy, said the same thing. Think about it. You think they want to open up the government from now until Thanksgiving, and then take the government doesn't open up there and take their Thanksgiving break and then their Christmas break? No, they're going to let it go out, and they're going to have the longest vacation in history. And guess what? Here's a kicker for all of you. The Republicans and Democrats in the House and Senate, their pay doesn't stop just because the government shut down. They get paid. Everyone in those damn government officials get paid. The workers on furlough, they don't get paid. They get back pay, but what if the government shut down? You see, the government is doing this for two reasons. One is they want to do what the Republicans want. They think 36 million voters voted for this, okay? Right? So think about it. 36 million Trumpers voted to dissolve food stamps. Well, okay. You know, my cousin Dinky, if she was around the Corey, they'd be happy for it because, frankly, guess what? It's only supposed to be for temporary use, except for people disabled and elderly. And guess what? If you dissolve it, I'm fine by it. 24 bucks a month. I remember when the government started giving $4 a month. What was that? And you'd have to go to the office every 3 months to re-up just for a gallon of milk. Me and Aaron, we used to say it wasn't worth it. Now look. You turn around, and what do you get? Yeah. I mean, literally, the world's gone to hell in a handbasket. And then you hear people say, oh, well, you know. The thing is are we safe? Is anyone safe? No. But I don't think the appropriation budget would be covering ICE either. I haven't looked that up, but I'm not going to look up right now. I could. But, yeah. I mean, if ICE is still doing ICE raids, then wouldn't the government need to be shut? Wouldn't, you know, I may just ask anyways. Let's just go and ask, because my brother... Alright, so let's just do this. I'm going to ask a question here. Hold on. If the government is shut down due to the 12 appropriation bills, does that mean... Alright, here we go. So, this asks the question. So, basically what happens is here's the kicker, okay? By AI's own standards, that ICE is a operation that's fully essential. So, they get paid while you 42 million go hungry. So, think about that. Think about that. I just want you to think about that. Hold on. Other funding sources. Pre-funded activity mandated. So basically... So basically, ICE is getting paid, supposedly, or back pay, while everyone else is going hungry. So 42 million people are going hungry, and ICE is still getting paid. I guess that tells you what you need to know if you're going to the polls in 2026. Hagen TJ says, that's a new name, he changed it again. I know nothing. Yeah. Anyways, with food stamps, they cut 42 million food stamps, or $9 billion. $9 billion a month on food stamps. And yet they can cover ICE. Makes you wonder. I guess the Republicans think they can win, which a lot of people are Republicans, but the Democrats think that these massive deportations can make them win both House and Senate back. Maybe if they gerrymander or they steal the election, but we're not going to go there yet. You see, the other thing is what happens when the government turns around and cuts out other programs. They're fighting. My sister said to me they're fighting a dead battle, and I told her this too. They are. They want to cover health care. Healthcare. All right, I'm for healthcare. Fortunately, it's too late. The government keeps shut down till January. She said again, another reason why they're shutting down the entire government is not only Epstein, but number 2, right here on my finger, is number 2. See, right here, 2. I'm not giving the middle finger. 2, right here, is that food stamps. If food stamps are gone, then they don't have to worry about it. 3 is without the enrollment of the new insurance plans that people can't afford, that cripples the health care. So they can just ride through the wave and storm until January and then say, oh, well, we're going to do a new budget proposal, but we may make it for 2 years because of this. And yet, by January, that means that the Democrats have lost the entire fight for the Democratic fight for health care. Unless, my sister said that's another reason. They can basically take a long vacation and say, well, but they're blaming the Democrats. Now, let me tell you, my sister and I both agree. We both blame both Republicans and Democrats for the government shutdown. I mean, literally. And I said to my brother Ted the other day, he emailed me with something stupid. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Oh, the labor industry of the government's unions are going to make the government reopen. That was like a week ago. I said, yeah, right. I got a bridge to sell you to nowhere. Yeah, so I guess he's just as bad as Brother Ted when it comes to, Higgins over there with this wrench. He's probably worse off too, claiming that he knows nothing. Well, if you know nothing, then that's better because I don't know what the government's doing. But, yeah, I just gave you 3 scenarios. 1, cut off the food stamps because they can. This is the Implement Project 2025 behind the scenes, which means they could give you a food box monthly and say this is all you get. 2 cans of Spam and a can of baked beans to be done. Or, whatnot, nothing. And then you have the other side of the aisle. The second problem, like I just said, is cut health care out till January, and then the open enrollment's done. And that gives them plenty of time to let the government steam. And then when the American people sit there and say, oh, well, we got 11 months till the next election cycle, midterms, we're going to let the Democrats take back the House and Senate. Then the Republicans can sit there and say, well, we got rid of health care. You guys are living with it. Isn't life better? But no, then you're going to have them basically try to do another thing is, as long as the government shut down, people are going to start to boycott. And that is another problem we have with government shutdown. They may just sit there and you're going to see people are like, the stock market is great, and all of a sudden you're going to see the stock market go down rapidly. And people are going to be like, why? Well, the bond market sucks, and people aren't paying tariffs. And the tariffs, and all of a sudden the warehouses are full. I mean, have you noticed that Best Buy is raising their prices Scalpers are raising their prices, and a lot of stuff that's on my saved list is sold out, and it's been sold out, discontinued, on sale, gone forever. And they're like, well, if you want this, you're going to have to spend money. And if you want that, you're going to have to spend money. No one's going to spend money. They're not going to care to spend money. They're going to sit there and be like, well, we don't really need this. I mean, let me put it this way, okay? For example, Best Buy is having a sale on 37 different TVs. I told my adopted brother this, and he's like, 37 TVs. You don't need 37. It was a joke, but they have a deal on 37 different TVs, right? Some stuff is on sale, some isn't. Like, for example, I don't want a Toshiba TV. I told Chloe I will not have a Toshiba. I don't even want a Google TV, you know. I want I want to try a Vizio again or a Roku TV. But where do you get Vizio? Where do you get Vizio? You have to buy a TV stand, which I really don't want to part with unless it has an adjustable stand. But how many people right now think it's time to purchase a TV in this day and age? Even my sister said that it's not time. Unless you have money to throw away, don't invest in stuff right there. I mean, right there. I mean, portable DVD players sold out. Portable Blu-ray players sold out. Portable such and such sold out. That sold out. This is sold out. Hisense 40-inch TV sold out. By the way, it's Google TV. That's a Google TV. On the other hand, that one's sold out right there. This is sold out right now. That's sold out. People are sucking up everything that they can for the price and then turning around and saying, well, you know, this is good. I mean, look, a lot of people are going to be looking to see how Christmas is going to play out. And I'm telling you, if you didn't get your Christmas pre-planned already, your Christmas is going to suck. And a lot of people are going to be royally pissed. Think about it. What if the food bank turns around and cannot give you turkeys? Are you going to be pissed off the government, or are you going to be pissed off the food bank? I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are going to probably use the food bank for turkeys. My sister was saying this. You know, people basically turned around. I mean, look, let me ask you guys a question for this trial and error. We're in a dark time right now, my friends. And so my question to you is, would you sit there, invest in money in electronics or meat, right? I was just telling my sister tonight, there is a point in your life when you turn around. I like rib roast. Everyone knows that. Even my sister Pee-wee knows I love rib roast. But guess what? In this day and age, what's more important to live? To be thankful that you're alive? Thankful you have food in your belly? I mean, most people at Thanksgiving, they expect turkeys, hams, prime ribs, duck. I wouldn't mind a duck myself, but do you know how hard it is to find a duck? I mean, literally, I just put duck in Costco. There is no duck. Did you know I tried to put in a duck at Walmart? There is no duck at Walmart. I did find a couple ideas at Walmart, but I have to have Chloe pick it up. Fortunately, I didn't get to talk about that, right? But anywho, yeah, so basically when you're looking at this, right? Yeah. So, for example, I like a good duck. I'd have a Christmas duck. Heck, I'd have a goose if a goose was on sale. I'd actually try another goose. The thing is the American people nowadays need to realize that if you're going to be cooking goose, then what you need to do with goose is be blessed that you have goose. Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, yeah, so I mean, literally the thing is, what are you thinking about? Yeah. That's the thing. What are you truly thinking about? I mean, because in my opinion, yeah, is, are you prepped? And are you prepped for Christmas dinner? I mean, I've been looking at, for foods for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. And I'm telling you, a lot of people turn around and they're not thinking. I mean, they're thinking about the common man, you know. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say to me, what's the future gonna happen? And I say, I don't know. What would you like the future be? Thing is, are you prepped? A lot of people aren't. A lot of people aren't prepped. And a lot of people sit there and right now they're worried about their food stamps. And without it, they say they can't eat. Maybe you should recycle your tin cans, recycle your pop cans, recycle your beer bottles, recycle whatever you can, because frankly, the problem is in the world is you got to ask yourself. Let me tell you about Chloe, right? Chloe wants to go to Seattle. She wants to go to Seattle. She wants to go to Seattle. She wants to waste money in Seattle, not knowing that next month she may basically have no money, or it's a relaxing party time. Oh, I'm just going to go see some friends. Really, then you can go see your friends, waste your money, and then find out you don't have any money for the rest of the month because you took a bus to Seattle, hang out with your friends, went and got Japanese food, while I'm sitting here eating a frozen meal and I'm not jealous, by the way, because food is tight. They're going out spending money. I mean, I went last month. I went to twice to eat out. And you know what? The secret is not to eat out. Right now, there's nothing that needs it. I asked my sister if we can rent a van. It's van rental time. No. If it can be shipped, it's got to be shipped. She doesn't want it to be not shipped. We're working on a lot of things. I mean, literally. We are working on a lot of things. Literally. And, yeah, like my sister and I were talking about, there's a lot of people out there that like to waste money. Yeah. A lot of people like to waste money, and that's something that's sad. I mean, literally. I mean, the notes are there. Without food stamps, the truckers go out of business. Without food stamps, 50 cents. Was milk 50 cents? Because if that's 50 cents for a whole gallon of milk, I'll take it. I want milk. Show a picture of milk. Hold on. Let me look. I'm at Walmart real quick for fun. Milky! There we go. It says rollback. Here we go. $3.22 for a gallon of milk. Oh, that's not bad at all for $3.22. I'd try Walmart milk for that price. There we go. I was just doing a little shopping. Let's see, save for later. My Walmart thing's filling up. Chloe'd be sitting there like, well. So, Chloe's coming in tomorrow so I can talk to her about groceries because she's going to have to take a cooler back with her to make sure we get our groceries filled for Thanksgiving. And I, for one, want to be frugal, right? Frugal is the way to go. So, anyways, let's just get down to, So, anyways, as a prepper, a lot of you people have been messaging me also being like, what do we do about Christmas? Well, if you didn't pre-plan for Christmas, you ain't going to be pre-planning for Christmas anytime soon. Plain and simple. Which reminds me, I should basically pull this up, but I can't till tomorrow when I can print it out again. So, because of it. But a lot of people have been asking me about different things. And, so I thought me and Chloe would talk about purchases Because Christmas is around the corner, and a lot of people are like, wanting us to invest in a few things and buy a few things. And I said to Chloe, yeah, we'll look into it. But in return, we need to make sure everything is set. Plain and simple. I'm just seeing how many tabs I can open with a Ryzen 9. Yeah, this is a Ryzen 9, by the way. So it's like a lot of people are like, are you happy with the Ryzen 9? Well, maybe not. I mean, when my Walmart wish list is gonna go down, so I'm supposed to send out some links to my brother anyways. I may do that tomorrow, tonight, whatever. Okay, so let's just go here, because what I'm looking for specifications for these links, and so I can look real quick. Has a remote, number of speakers. Yeah, see where I was gonna. Alright. What I may do is I may just send a link to my brother real quick. He gets a gift card anyways. I may just send my brother Ted a quick message here. Let's see. I'm just asking. Hold on. Anyway, so basically, this is a question mark, so I'm just going to send him a few links, and we'll get it over with so I can do other issues. So, usually I don't send links. I got a couple things I got to send him. He sent me some links earlier, so I got to go through them eventually. But, anyways, I was sending him a couple links on TVs. Yeah, because of that. I guess this loads pretty quick. Multi-threads. I think you can have like 16 tabs open for a Ryzen 9. Or is it 32 tabs? I can't remember. It depends on how many threads are there. I think that's how it works. The more threads, the more tabs you get, apparently. So far, they already all loaded. So I think it's a blessing. Okay, so anywho, the bottom line is when it comes to what's going on in the world, like I said, there's a lot of people. I'm just sending a couple links out for Ted just for fun. But anyways, he'll get a gift card. But the future is soon, and everyone's worried about the Christmas. And I'm like, dude, did you prep for Christmas? I mean, literally, did you prep for Christmas? I mean, Chloe wants a computer for Christmas again, and it's like, dude, you're homeless. And she's like, I won't be homeless for long. So I'm like, okay. So, but anyway, she wants a new computer, and Ted and I are working on that. So within the next 30 days, we'll get one, unless Ted and I both agree that it's not a time to buy a computer. Which right now, a lot of people are like, but computers are cheap, laptops are cheap. Question is, the reason the pricing is staying the same on a lot of these things is because they're trying to entice you to spend money. And that's because they are trying to entice you to buy money, because frankly, they don't know if they're going to be in business in a month or 2 months or 3 months. So, yeah. So I have to choose a computer for this old lady too. And so I've been saving this because the old lady wants a computer, and I was going to get Ted's opinion. It's like an all-in-one mini computer. So, anyways, the point is, I still got a couple links to go through tonight. But thing is it time to buy a computer? That's the question. No, it isn't. I mean, even my brother Ted was that. And I understand where, Ted and I, we get along fine. But the point is, yes, I think my brother, the Higgins, he's the one that farted. I smell it. If you dealt it, the Higgins, you smell, you dealt it, you smelt it, and you dealt it. I can smell it. Whoa, man, that's right. What'd you eat? I think he had those chimichangas for dinner. But anyways, that's the thing. I've been eating less food too, because food's getting tighter and tighter. I mean, we don't know what's going on, and so we are looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. So with me, I'm talking to Chloe about different things. I'm going to check Costco real quick, but you get the idea. So, so I'll tell you guys a quick story. So tonight, Chloe, her cards, her card's locked, right? I'm head of household, so she's like, lock my card, so I lock it. And I'm on the phone with my sister, and she doesn't understand I'm with my sister, so she yells at me. She's like, you stupid, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna leave you for a carrot. Good, do it. And she got mad. I'm like, dude, do it. Because I'm not gonna have you arguing with me over, me being on the phone once a week with my sister. I don't even use the phone that much. Here we go. So Chloe was asking me about turkey, and I was like, I think Costco sells. There it is, the smoked turkey. It's on sale. Naturally smoked turkey, $4.29 per pound. So it's like $45 for a smoked turkey. I may do that for Christmas, but anyways, I mean, only because it's a smoked turkey, you know, and the fact that you got to be frugal, you know. Now, Sister P, we would probably say, well, for $45, you should just go buy a cheap turkey. Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, right now we're in a time constraint where everything is getting more and more harder to buy and harder to find. So, but anywho, with the said done, you have to basically be frugal this time around. Do you think the government's going to open up? Only time will tell. And a lot of people have emailed me saying, you know, they want a real person to talk about real problems. I mean, think about it. The government shuts down throughout Thanksgiving. What are you Republicans and Democrats going to do? You're going to sit there and blame Donald Trump? His party, like me, I'm blaming both parties, Republican and Democrat. But then they may be like, oh, Donald Trump ain't moving, so, you know, he made our Thanksgiving crappy, so we're going to vote Democrat. And then Christmas comes around and the government ain't open. Well, Christmas was crappy. We had no money, and a lot of people were homeless, and they lost their houses, and, you know, this was the worst Christmas ever. Blame the Republicans, right? So then they'll get really angry because they're furloughed or laid off. And then what happens afterwards? Then January 3rd comes like they usually have, and all of a sudden that's when they they open up the you know, the new year with swearing in Congress and stuff. That's what they do every 2 years. Instead, what happens? It may just be, we can't converse with the Democrats because the Democrats want health care. Or they may just turn around and be like, well, health care is down the toilet now. We're going to reopen the government because, not using the nuclear option, but we're opening the government because we have to, right? Because once the cutoff for the health care is, that my sister and I said, once the enrollment period's done, they can reopen it. If they don't want to reopen, they'd be like, oh, well, you know, the enrollment's over, but we can't reopen because of Epstein. Who knows, right? I mean, with the Republicans, no one knows. That's why I keep telling you, if you want to have a smooth Christmas, you don't go and invest in things like, you pre-plan your Christmas 12 months ahead of time when you can, and then you basically make it so when you have your Christmas, your presents are overflowing your tree, and you're like, hey, I did my best. I mean, literally. I mean, you know, the thing is, they're not trying to hurt blue states. They're not trying to hurt red states. But the blue states could hurt the red states by turning around and saying, hey, why should we pay for these redneck goons in red states when the government shut down? We shouldn't be paying our taxes. Think about it. Then what happens? I mean, I can go on and on and on, but you guys get the idea. I mean, literally. I mean, thing is, will the government stay shut down? Yes. Do you think it'll open up before Christmas? No. I think it may not even open in January. I think they're going to basically drag this out and blame the Democrats. Now, the thing is that I also said, quote unquote, a theory I had, and I'm just going to say this again, is the theory I have is the government may open up after Tuesday as the latest if they see that the Democrats literally take back Virginia and the other states that they're worried about. They may just open up and say enough's enough. Or they may just say, no, we're not opening up. We're going to double down or triple down or quadruple down. And then all of a sudden what happens? They're screwed. And this is why you plan carefully. But of course, most people don't plan carefully. And then they're basically hurting. I mean, look at me. I just was shopping at Walmart, adding a few items to my shopping cart. So, and then people say, oh, well, the thing is do not worry. Don't worry. Americans, we'll get through this. I mean, it's not the end of the world. People say, are you capitulating to Trump? No, I'm just saying it's not the end of the world. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, look, if they cut out, as my sister said, food stamps, it's not the end of the world. Maybe half these people, food stamps were designed specifically for the elderly and the disabled that are fully disabled and elderly permanently. Everyone else was temporary. And then they said, well, without the food stamps, the government can turn off my phone, right? So you're worried about your government phone. Yeah. I'm not worried about the government phone. I mean, as a backup, we have the radio. Yeah, see? It's on and it's charged. See? Little radio here. Works for me and Chloe. This is our communications. I like it better than the cell phone. Chloe knows this already. So, but now, the next step. The next lovely step. I love Chloe dearly, okay? And that is food banks. Food banks may shut down. 1/3 of food banks in the country are federally funded. If those go down, they got to get donors. And those donors may not want to fund. And so that leaves the states. And the state and the county may fund it. But what if the grocery stores may donate a boatload of food for a month, all because they got a lot of expired food going out due to the fact that no one's buying because the food stamps weren't covered. Then they're still supplying it, but then they're hurting. And then some of these programs have government assistance to help with a few vouchers here. The Red Cross does from time to time, but what happens when that funds run out? Let me tell you, I think we're going to be in for some interesting times for the next 12 months until election and midterms. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting things. Remember what I said, the government isn't sending in for poll watching the military. They're doing it because they think they can force the government to stay open so they can get paid. The red states, and they're sending in the National Guard, the blue states. It's like a civil war happening between the two states. Unfortunately, the blue states make more money, so the blue states paying the red states. Now, the blue states right now don't think they have to pay because the red states take more, and the government shut down, so the IRS can't collect state taxes or the federal taxes. So the IRS is down. That's another thing. What are they going to do? Redo all the taxes? I mean, literally, the IRS tax computer's down. I mean, you're looking at the entire destruction of America from within, and that is saying something. And I'm not saying the president's doing it forcefully. I'm not saying he's doing it deliberately. I'm just saying it's the way I see it is you're going to see the stock market go down rapidly. I mean, literally, without the 12 appropriation bills, farmers can't get paid, grocery stores can't get paid, food stamp recipients can't get paid, TANF can't get paid, cash assistance can't get paid, nothing can get paid. My neighbor, he's all, oh, we get back pay. You know, my neighbor, I asked him, do you think the government's going to open up anytime soon? He said no. He says, honestly, I think I'm out of a job soon. And that is, he's getting Social Security disability, but he's a ranger for the federal service, for the Park Service. Yeah, think about it. He literally thinks everything's great until the whole world falls apart around him. And then he says, no, I think I'm out of a job. Yeah, and then you have other neighbors going, well, they can't take my house. They can, and they will. And the way they can do it is, there's no money, no appropriation. When the reserve cash runs out of all buildings that's subsidized, you're out on your butt. Even my sister knows this. Why do you think we're basically waiting to see? Why do you think Chloe's working on other backup plans? I mean, I could go live with brother Ted, but I don't think he would want me and my dog there. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want to be there either. But, I mean, I made a joke about setting up a tent in my sister's backyard. Unfortunately, Chloe and I may end up with a tent with about 20 different homeless girls, all with a giant wall tent or a I don't remember what they're called. A tent with 2 wood stoves in the front. An outfitter tent. That's what it's called. You know. And then we'll be basically, you know, living in an outfitter's tent. Because, you know, that's all we're doing. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's this, right? Yep, there it is. So I'm just checking the price of an outfitter tent. There we go. So the 20 by 27, right? Is this the one we're looking at? Let me look. Yeah, so biggest tent they sell has 2 wood stove jacks for a whopping $1,400. We may even have to move into that and have 3 girls on each side of us with double-deck bunk beds living in a tent with a wood stove over and living in a tent, because that's all we may be able to afford if it gets worse. Yeah, so think about it. I mean, this has like what, 2 wood stove jacks? I think it said it had 2 wood stove jacks. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You're going to have to get a stove. Let's see. It's a 2 center support poles. Yeah, you see, this is the thing. You got to look at it. Let's see. Durable. 5-inch wood stove and rollaway storm flaps. Thought it had 2. Let me see. Let me look. I think it was like 12 by 27 or something. Here we go. 13 by 27. Yeah. The 13 by 27 had 2 wood stove jacks. Apparently they discontinued it. Yeah. And so basically they're talking about that. So their biggest one is 12 by 20. 12 by 20, I guess I could live in a 12 by 20 tent if it's just me and Moppy and, you know, no bunny now. But still, you get the idea, you get the problem we're having. I mean, literally. So, point is, we can be coming down to that route, and we all have to prep for the worst. People aren't prepping. People don't think about prepping. People are thinking everything will be fine. Yeah, but if the government stays closed, it's not just me being on my butt. It's the guy upstairs who I love dearly. It's the drunk that I love dearly. It's my Hispanic family that they work, but they'll probably be struggling really bad too. Then you got the old lady upstairs. She's worried about losing her home right now. I wouldn't have bought a TV, but... And then you got the other lady who lost her Meals on Wheels and so forth. And then you go down the list. You see where I'm going with it? It's all basically hurting. So, yeah. You may have an income, but you don't have no place to hang your hat. That's a problem. So with that said, everyone, I'll let you guys go for the night. I hope this gives you some ideas that government could open up early. They could open up late. They could not open up at all. Just be prepped. That's all I'm saying. If you can't afford food right now because you didn't prep, just do what you can with the food bank and help. Because in the end of the day, some of you relied on the government too much. And I will do a video on that later. Why we're in this path, what it means, and how we get out of it. With that said, everyone, I hope you liked my video. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button so it's fun for your family, including your dogs or cats or bunnies or service dogs or service bunnies. Bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button, keep the comments nice. Oh yeah, thank you. God bless you and everything.